As war rages here in Ukraine, the European Union is told it should prepare for 5 million refugees from Ukraine. 5 million. That's the word from a top EU diplomat.
Now, already, more than 1.7 million people have left Ukraine in a desperate effort to escape Russia's onslaught. Among those refugees, hundreds of children who were evacuated from a Jewish orphanage in the Ukrainian city of Odessa. Rabbi Raphael Krushkal helped lead that daring escape, and the rabbi joins us now. Rabbi, good to have you with us this morning. This is a difficult decision at any moment, but you had actually begun preparing, perhaps a little earlier than some folks might have expected. What was the moment when you knew that it was time to get these children out to safety?
So good morning, Erica. Yes, I prepared some months in advance. I didn't believe I would ever have to actually leave. But as soon as a bomb landed and missed the airport and about half a mile away from our girls' orphanage, I realized that was the time we had to leave.
Rabbi Krushkal, your family, you're the son of a Holocaust survivor. Your family knows this history. I've felt many times since coming to Ukraine like I'm caught in a 1940s newsreel as I watch some of these events unfold. And I wonder, how do you feel to be in the year 2022 rescuing Jewish children from an invading army? Does it bring back those memories? Are you amazed to see that kind of history repeated again here?
You know, you hear the story. My father was in Bergen-Belsen. My father-in-law, his parents were killed in Auschwitz. And you hear the stories, and you know, you hear and you don't believe. And suddenly you go to the borders and you see the tragedy, you see the desperation, you see the tears, you see the refugees running away, you see the pain, you see the despair. And you go back 70 years. It's no question about it. I mean, it's heartbreaking in 2022 that we have to see this again.
Yeah. Do you think there will be a different response this time? We're seeing a different response in this moment, but as we continue along this road, as Russia continues with its attacks and its invasion in Ukraine, how are you feeling about what comes next?
I think I don't know what comes next for us and for our kids. About the response, it took too long in 1940s to respond. I think Ukraine is alone. Is very alone now, and I would wish that somebody would be able to make peace between both sides and get both sides to understand the importance and the danger they're creating to the world and the pain they're causing to children, to women, to refugees, to families. It's so bad. It's terrible.
Yeah. That point you make there, Rabbi, I'm just curious what you think then. If Ukraine is alone and Russia is advancing further and we're seeing them increase, not decrease, their deliberate attacks on civilians, do you believe the world is letting them down? Is this a 1939 moment for Europe?
In 1939, they never realized it was 1939. In 1946, they realized that 1939 was as bad as 1939 was. We just got to make sure we don't miss the moment when the world steps and decides we have to do something and stop the senseless killing of civilians.
Yeah, we do.
Rabbi, how are the children doing right now? What are they asking you? How are you answering those questions?
So the children which we take in are from families, or from a lot of them are orphans. A lot of them are from families of abuse and drug abuse and alcohol abuse. And they've been through so much abandonment, they've been through so much pain and trauma, and they're so resilient. I mean, they're more resilient than me. I saw the way they traveled twice for 30 hours as they went right the way through Ukraine to the Carpathian Mountains, and then as we took them to Ukraine, to Romania, I saw how strong they are. I saw how powerful they are. I saw how really special these kids are. And I don't know where they get the strength, but when they came over to me the first weekend after when we arrived on our Shabbat by buses, which is very unusual for Orthodox Jews, we were traveling to save our lives. And they said to me, they came over to me and I was worried, what are the kids going to say to me? And they said, will you open the football pitch for us? I said, oh, at least they're feeling back to normal.
Yeah, so important there, and it is remarkable when faced with so much trauma, their resilience. Lessons I guess we can all learn from them, but it would be nice if people didn't have to. Rabbi Raphael Krushka, appreciate you joining us today. Thank you for all of the work that you are doing.
Thank you, and say a prayer that there should be peace for all of us and for all the citizens and refugees, that they should be well and healthy, both mentally and physically.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We share that thought. Thanks very much, Rabbi.